Welcome back to Cartoon vs. Anime series. With Naruto and Ichigo defeated, the fate of the Big Three now rests on Monkey D. Luffy, the rubber-powered future pirate king from the world of anime going to battle against Generator Rex, the EVO battling hero with nanite-driven transformations from the world of cartoons. A legendary high seas quest unlike any other, filled with dangers that break even the spirits of indomitable sailors, with the mysterious treasure that is eluding not only pirates as well as the world government. With Pirate Era started by Gold D. Roger with his story of his treasure that would become known to the world as the One Piece. Luffy is a young adventurer who has longed for a life of freedom ever since he can remember. He sets off from his small village on a perilous journey to find the legendary fabled treasure, One Piece, to become king of the pirates. Before we can discuss arbitrary things like attack potency or speed, we need to understand the power system of the verse. Apart from humans, there are other species like mermaids, fishmen, etc. who are strong due to the species, but there are other ways to become powerful in the One Piece verse, which are by consuming the devil fruit or train with haki. Devil fruits are like double-edged sword with giving abilities that can range anywhere from useless to almost god tier, but comes at a price. Once a person consumes it, he would lose his ability to swim and will be weakened by seawater. Sea stone or sea prism stone is a naturally occurring substance that can drain the energy of devil fruit users to the point where they can't consciously control their powers. There are three types of devil fruits, which are Logia, Zoan, and Paramecia. Logia devil fruits allow a person to create, control, and transform their body into an element of nature, depending on which element the fruit gives. The user can transform partially or completely. One of the greatest strengths of Logia fruits are the defensive capabilities that they have to offer. Paramecia are one of the three devil fruit types, being the most common and diverse. Fruits of this type allow the consumer to achieve one of a large variety of abilities that enables them to become superhuman or perform a superhuman feat. Zoan-type devil fruits grant the ability to transform into a certain animal species. Unlike Paramecia and Logia devil fruits, Zoans are said to have a will of their own, even before consumption. But devil fruits aren't only power-up, and there is also haki, a mysterious power that allows individuals to harness their own spiritual energy for various superhuman feats. As this energy manifests from willpower, and there are three types of haki, which are armament, observation, and conqueror's haki. Armament haki, which allows the user to use their own aura as armor to defend against attacks, as well as make their own attacks more potent, and it can also be used to bypass devil fruit defenses, such as the intangibility of a Logia. A person can apply the armament to a section of their body, over their entire body, and even imbue it onto their weapons. Observation haki, which gives the user a sixth sense of the world around them, allowing them to sense the presence, strength, and emotions of other people, even if they are out of sight or far away. It also grants limited precognitive abilities, allowing the user to sense their opponent's intentions and predict their actions and attacks before they happen. Conqueror's haki, which grants the user the ability to unleash their own willpower in order to overpower the will of others, and resulting in victims being mentally overwhelmed by the user, with particularly weak-willed foes instantly losing consciousness. It can also apply pressure onto objects and damage them. A clash between two particularly strong Conqueror's haki users is capable of splitting the heavens. Unlike the other types of haki, which can be learned by anyone, Conqueror's haki is a rare ability that only one in several million people are born with the ability to use. There is also a second stage, or an advanced stage of all three versions of haki, which are more powerful, yet only a handful of people in One Piece have learned it. An advanced level of armament haki allows the user to emit the armament a short distance without a medium, and allows the user to make the emitted armament flow into a target's body and destroy it from the inside out. An advanced level of observation haki allows the user to actually foresee a short period into the future. An advanced level of conqueror's haki allows the user to infuse their conquering spirit into their weapons and physical attacks, greatly augmenting their power. Only a small handful of the most powerful Conqueror's haki users are able to achieve this. With all of this covered now, we can talk about the arbitrary things like attack potency. It's fairly simple to assess his power since Luffy is now one of the 4 emperors and fought one of the previous 4 Emperor Kaido, and one in his Gear 5th form, who considered unbeatable in land, water, and air, with some theories claiming that he is as strong or even stronger than Whitebeard, which is contentious to say the least, with Luffy beating him on a one-on-one using his Gear 5 mode. In Databook for Whitebeard said that he could destroy the world, and Kaido is as strong as Whitebeard, with Luffy beating him makes him a planet-level threat. But when it comes to the world view of One Piece, the theory is that the planet that the story of One Piece takes place is larger than a normal Earth, with some calculations stating it to be large as a Jupiter and other calculations hyping it to be the same size as our yellow sun, and this is based on 2 factors. One is the Alabasta Island. In the end of the Alabasta Island arc, we get a shot of Vivi screaming at her top of the lungs to stop the conflict, as we get as it zooms up to have an POV shot from the rain clouds as a drop of rain falls onto the ground as rain forms naturally on the island, and in this we get a full view of the island, including Sandora River, which is said to be 50-kilometer wide, and compare that to the whole island, this would scale it to as large as Australia or Antarctica. And there is nothing wrong with this line of thinking, but in general the rain forms in the nimbus clouds with the prefix nimbo- or the suffix nimbus are low-level clouds that have their bases below 2,000 meters, or 6,500 feet above Earth. Clouds that produce rain and snowfall into this category. And most aviation in Australia occurs below FL 450 or 45,000 feet, or 13,716 meters above mean sea level. In recent years, new entrants to the aviation sector have operated, or plan to operate, above FL 600 around December 2023, and if you take a look any picture of flight over Australia, you can only see a huge area of landmass, not the outline of the entire continent, whereas the whole Alabasta Island will vanish in the ocean background, just as we reach 2,000 meters, and flights that fly nearly 6.86 times higher than the rain clouds couldn't see the full continent. In the end, the view we got for dramatic purpose only, and cannot be used to scale. Just like Alabasta, we also have Dressrosa, which also considered a large country, and in the final battle Doflamingo casted a birdcage that slowly moved to center, and from the aerial view we can see that Dressrosa is in a circle shape, and we see people outrunning it to reach the center, and there was no one tried to push it until the last 3 minutes, and Doflamingo calculated it would take an hour to complete. As we saw regular people outrun it, we can conclude that the birdcage is moving at a walking speed. The average walking speed of an adult is 3 to 4 miles per hour. With it reaching the center, we can determine the radius of island to be around 4 miles or 6.44 kilometers. Since the whole island is in a circle shape, we can determine the area over 50.27 square miles, or 130.20 square kilometer, which is still twice as large as San Marino, but not as large as people think. Just like the other 2 members of Big 3, Luffy also has transformations named Gear, with exceptional of 3rd gear. All the other gears are transformations. Gear 2 works on the principle involves Luffy speeding up the blood flow in all body parts in order to provide them with more oxygen and nutrients. This makes him much faster and more powerful. While a French version of Guide stated it as 10 times multiplier, whereas in the original Japanese version the multiplier is not given, but with application of Gear 2 is similar to that of adrenaline rush, which is a fight or flight hormones which gives energy boost, breathe faster, increase your blood rate into your muscles, and breathe faster. With Luffy body having rubber-like property, it would allow his muscles to reach 100% muscle strength without damaging his body, and low concentrations of adrenaline and high concentrations of non-adrenaline can increase contractile strength up to 50%, providing a total of 150%, but Luffy's technique is far stronger than regular adrenaline boost, with providing a 300% boost or 3 times multiplier. Gear 4 is said to be several times. The words were taught this way. A couple was 2. A few was 3 to 4. Several was considered a vague term, with 4 to 8 being the accepted meaning. With the max number, we can say it as 8 times on top of Gear 2, or 24 times multiplier. And Gear 5 is stated to increase the strength exponentially, but without knowing the growth rate and time it's hard to tell. Pre-time skip Zoro is faster than Kuma's pad cannon, and Luffy is as fast as Zoro, and all 3 of the monster trio had to battle simultaneously to beat a single Pacifista, whereas post-time skip Luffy destroyed Pacifista with 1 hit, which means Luffy got at least 36 times stronger than pre-time skip. That would make his base speed up to 162 times the speed of light, and Gear 4 would have speed up to 1,296 times faster than speed of light, and after getting speed blitzed by Kaido, Luffy would train in advanced haki and got faster than his Gear 4 self, which would increase his speed up to 2,592 times the speed of light, and in his Gear 4 form, his speed around 62,208 times the speed of light, and we don't know the exact multiplier of Gear 5. With the Gum Gum fruit giving rubber body, which is immune to blunt attacks, and without haki he is immune to all types of punches and kicks, but still get hurt by slash types attacks like from a sword or claws. With mastery of all types of haki and its advanced form giving him abilities like a strong armor, to see few seconds into the future, and also have his attacks negate the opponent's durability by emitting armament flow into a target's body and destroy it from the inside out. With Gear 5, he has the ability to turn his imagination into reality, which many take it as Toon Force, which is not his power, is just reality warping-esque power, which is only on a low level able to turn his surrounding into rubber, and even transforming the surrounding things to transmute the rubber properties and create a pair of goggles. Luffy is the type of guy who throws punch first and asks questions later, and with Luffy rarely following any plans, and most of the time he would do his own thing by fighting the strongest opponent. With the stats of Luffy laid out, how would Generator Rex would fare against him? An amnesiac 15-year-old boy and permanent EVO, who unlike most other EVOs, lacks physical deformation but has forgotten his past. He is also able to control his active nanites, allowing him to manifest from his body and have various biomechanical abilities and powers. Generator Rex has fought EVOs the size of buildings. Van Clius, who can control a large terrain of soil filled with nanites, and in a crossover with Ben 10 fought Humongosaur and Diamond Head, but his strongest form is when he combined with all of the meta nanites, the Dominion Code that have the jurisdiction over the building blocks of the universe such as matter, antimatter, energy, gravity, magnetism, time-space. With this, one hold the dominion over the entire universe, and Rex could tear the very fabric of the universe, and fabric of the universe often refers to the fundamental structure and nature of space-time. It essentially means destruction of space-time on a universal scale, which place him at universe level.
A nanite, one of several. Inside it, hardwired into its design, is a segment of the original Dominion Code. In layman's terms, it's the God Code. Each of these meta-nanites have a cipher written inside that gives them jurisdiction over different building blocks of the universe. Matter, antimatter, gravity, magnetism. With the complete code, you can control them. And through them, you control everything.
These little machines could control the very fabric of the universe. So they would need a master control nanite to program all the others and tell them what to do. Energy, gravity, time, space, elemental and mechanical, all the things that would make the universe run. Combined together, they would pretty much make you a god.
It's incredible something so small could have so much power. That thing could rip apart the very fabric of the universe.
Rex is fast enough to catch missiles and dodge sonic attacks from point-blank's range. Dodged actual lightning and lasers, but speed is just distance divided by time, the both of which Rex has full control with his Dominion Code. The main utility of time manipulation comes from the fact that the user can decelerate the flow of time at will, and because users are unaffected by the time decelerating effects of their own ability, they will always be able to move faster than those affected by it. Rex is capable of using his nanites to interface with technology, allowing him to communicate with and control it, and he can control his own nanite. With this, he could use the nanites in his body to construct various mechanical builds, and with Omega Nanite has the ability to create new nanites and responsible for the creation of Rex's new machines. Rex can create machines that act as an arsenal of weapons like smack hands, which are massive orange gauntlets that Rex can transform his arms into to take down larger EVOs. Smack hands also have a secondary function, which is to spin and use it like a drill to drill and travel through underground pathways, and propel and drag himself underwater. The Punk Busters are a pair of massive orange super boots with retractable spikes on the soles, and also jet boosters on the heels to considerably amplify Rex's kicking power and speed. The Boogie Pack is a jet pack with a pair of wide orange turbine wings. Rex is capable of using it to fly at high speeds. The Slam Cannon, large orange projectile cannon that Rex can transform his one of the either arm into. Similar to a rocket launcher, it is positioned to rest on his shoulder. However, it does not produce its own ammo. Instead, a maw on the back end of the slam cannon can extend into the ground and reload solid material for ammunition. It then proceeds to fire the balled material at its target with great force. The Rex Ride is an orange hover motorbike that Rex can form out of his lower legs. The vehicle can drive over any terrain. The Big Fat Sword is a massive orange sword that Rex can transform either arm into. It is one of Rex's most lethal machines with a secondary function using a lever on the side of his Big Fat Sword. The top half of the sword will split apart and begin to rotate at a high velocity. This transforms the Big Fat Sword into the Battle Saw, a giant orange, circular saw that can slice through tough objects. The Omega Nanite gave him additional builds which are referred to as Omega builds, consisting of Blast Caster, a machine that consists of a navy-colored backpack dynamo, and a long black, tentacle-like whip that extends from his right arm. Funchucks are a pair of giant metallic nunchaku that is attached to both of Rex's arms. He can spin them at high speeds and then launch either arm at his target. Bat axes are a pair of large blue axes with energized blades that Rex builds with his hands. And finally, the Block Party can generate blue circular energy shields that are made of highly energized atoms. The energy shields are strong enough to withstand an extensive amount of damage before shattering like glass, which is strong enough to block from the molecular destabilizer, which is capable of destroying things at atomic level, reducing anything it hits to pure energy. Omega Nanite can also act as an life support and restart Rex's heart if he were to die, and his nanites will protect him even if he is unconscious and capable of neutralizing poisons. With Meta Nanite, he has dominion over all the fundamental building blocks of the universe like space-time, energy, elements, gravity, magnetism, antimatter, and machines. Rex is trained by Agent 6, the sixth most dangerous man on the planet, and has adept knowledge in things like trigonometry, which he learned naturally by using his slam cannon, and trained by Providence in hand-to-hand combat, and has taken out several trained Providence agents, and also able to spar with Agent 6. We discussed all of their stats, so let's compare both of them to see who the winner. Luffy attack potency is at planet level, and even if you consider the planet is as large as a star, placing him at star level, Rex is strong enough to destroy at universal scale, so this one goes to Rex. Luffy is crazy fast. The baseline of Gear 4 is at 62,208 times the speed of light, and Gear 5 is faster than this, but Rex can control the very things that determine the equation, which being space-time. So no matter how fast Luffy is, Rex will be faster than him, so speed category goes to Rex. While Luffy have all types of haki, and with his advanced armament can negate durability, but Rex have Block Party, which can block attacks that can destroy on atomic level, and with Luffy still being susceptible to slash attacks and Rex having slash types attacks like his sword and axe could have him major advantages. While his Gear 5 have stated to bring his imagination to reality, but all we have seen him transferring his rubber property to his surroundings, and can catch lightning, but Duncan Rollo stated the Rex's adaptability can overcome any obstacles, and can even fight all Ben's alien transformation with exception of his cosmic aliens like Way Big, Ghost Freak, and Alien X, but this not a definitive list as it ends with etc. So we can also include like Clockwork, or even Atomix, and we have seen how Block Party can energize the atoms to resist atomic level destruction. His build could evolve to resist his hacks since Luffy never showcased to be a cosmic level threat, so this one has to go for Rex. This category goes to Rex. Luffy had an extensive training to master the haki, but he is always a go-with-the-flow type of guy who rarely follow any plans but have a good battle instinct, but compared to him Rex is better at combat since not only he is trained Providence agent, but also trained under the sixth deadliest man on the planet, so this goes to Rex. In the end, Luffy stood no chance. He might able to imagine things to reality, but Rex is a literal god whose power is beyond his imagination. With the Big Three has fallen, we would focus on characters out of Big Three to fight against cartoon character.